Both Labour and the Conservatives are promising to increase public spending, but not to raise significant taxes or increase borrowing. And with economic growth stagnant, the Institute for Fiscal Studies say they are not being honest about the trade-offs that lie ahead. Now, we know what the parties say about overall public spending, but not individual departments. These are the numbers we know. In the last budget, the Chancellor said overall government spending would grow by around 1% for the next 5 years. Labour's manifesto implies an increase to 1.21%. The Conservatives a little lower than 1% because of their tax cuts. Now, you might think you can spread these evenly across all departments. We've got health, we've got foreign aid and defence and education. They're the protected departments. And then we've got everything else, the unprotected. But the clue is in the name. These are protected, which means they have more money committed. And that has implications for the rest of government spending. Let's start with health, the biggest of all. Both Conservatives and Labour promised some modest extra spending, £1 billion or £2 in their manifestos. But they've made a huge commitment to a workforce plan. It's going to cost around £50 billion. That will need 3.6% increase in health spending. Look what happens to the spending elsewhere in that big envelope as a result. For Labour, it's now flat, and the Conservatives' plans are now showing a real terms cut. We can do the same for defence. Both parties committed to raising defence spending. The Conservatives go a bit faster and further. There's a statutory commitment to foreign aid. We add these in. The spending cuts have got deeper. Labour and the Tories now well into negative territory. And education. Conservatives say they will protect spending per pupil, but because pupil numbers are actually falling, these are negative numbers, but the new childcare commitment's only worth £5 billion, but it breaks the chart. It's more than 30%. When we've done that, it means what's left for everything else? Well, it's minus 0.8% cuts if Labour are in charge and minus 2.5% if the Conservatives. What does that mean for the underprotected departments? It means the justice system already facing court backlogs and overcrowded prisons, welfare, record numbers of long-term sicks, local government, huge pressure on child services and housing already, plus transport and everything else, all facing significant real-term cuts. We see them over here that look a lot like austerity. Unless taxes rise, borrowing increases, or significant growth arrives in the forecast by the autumn. Now, we don't need the IFS to tell us that public services are under pressure, and we all know that the money has to come from somewhere. So perhaps it's no wonder that these parties don't want to spell out precisely who is paying before polling day.